All right. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, for allowing me to make this very video. Yahweh meaning the true name of the Most High, the Father, not Yahweh, Yahweh, man. Bahashem meaning the name of, and Yahweh Shai being the true name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. So basically, this video I want to dive into a topic. Look at that. Looking at a very nice, lovely little Edomite chick walking her dog. That's the one thing. These women love their dogs, man. But this video I want to talk about Isaiah 31:5, okay, and Revelation 22:15. All right, or 14 and 15. All right, Isaiah 31:5 and Revelation 22:14 and 15. All right. So not really discuss and talk about. Just we're gonna get straight into it. All right, Isaiah 31:5. Okay, which is dealing with basically the chariots of the Lord, the clouds, and in the Bible, the scriptures. All right, the chariots of the Lord, can be, also called clouds, horses of fire, the chariots of Israel. All right, but it's all the same thing. It's talking about the UFOs. All right, the UFOs that people see in the sky, called quote unquote unidentified flying objects. They are actually, the angelic vehicles of the angels, man. All right, the chariots of the Lord, which are the vehicles of the angels, man. And with the second coming of the Messiah, when it talks about how he's going to come back with clouds, right? It's not talking about literal clouds, right? Okay. Now, I hope you will literally fall through a cloud. Planes fly through clouds. You know that? So it's not talking about literal clouds. It's talking about, it's just I guess you could say a biblical surname for the chariots, the UFOs. And if you don't believe that, because certain people don't believe in UFOs, well, look, man, I can't make you believe anything. The Lord has to open your spirit and your mind to all things. So I can't make you believe shit, but that's what it's talking about. And again, when you start grabbing, end time prophecies, these clouds are going to be the reason smoke and fire is going to be on the earth, man. People are going to be lit on fire, man. So, like, how do you explain that? Again, laser beams, man. Okay? And Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, Ezekiel 28, when it wasn't lying, when it says, thou art wiser than Daniel. Esau, all right, the so-called white man, the powers that be, because he is on the throne, he knows a couple things, man. All right, he puts this stuff in his movies, man. What's it? Predictive programming. Okay, Isaiah 64. Esau, Edom makes his tongue fall upon himself. Now that's getting into how Esau tells on himself. Okay, but basically, my point is that the so-called white man knows this, man, and he puts it right in your face. And these movies they make, it's not for no reason, man. Okay, it's not for no reason, So again, if we watch that movie, War of the Worlds, I mean, it's like a perfect. There's no movie closer than that, man. It's a perfect example of what the second coming of Messiah is going to be like, man. And then you probably, most likely, you have watched that movie, man. You was a goddamn kid, okay? You watched it, man. The laser beams came out, those ships that came out, the floor. But the difference is that Yahweh Shai going to crack the sky, all right? So he's going to come back and invade the earth with his troops, man. So let's get into it. Isaiah 31:5. Now, the reason I want to talk about these two scriptures, because in my previous videos, I mentioned these scriptures, all right, and I interpreted it. I broke it down the wrong way. All right, happens. It's Isaiah 31:5. As birds flying, okay, so will the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, right, defend Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem is not necessarily always talking about the land. It depends on the context. Jerusalem is a people. So we're talking about the Israelites. And the proof of that is Zechariah 1. Jerusalem was scattered, right? You can't scatter a land. So again, Jerusalem, is a people. It's Israelites. And today, your Negroes and Hispanics. Defending also, he will deliver it. And passing over, he will preserve it. So the Most High is going to defend his people and deliver them, man, from their enemies, from, the judgment coming to the world, which essentially is nuclear fire, specifically to America, all right? And, our land, which the Edomites are there right now, all right? You know who, the JEW people, okay? So the Most High is going to defend them and preserve them as birds flying. That's talking about the UFOs, man. Right? And let me show you. Birds flying. See that? That's talking about the UFOs. Because remember, right? Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 3, man. Look at, see that? That's what it's going to look like, man. And let me prove that to you. Right? Let's go to, these are my favorite scriptures right here. Luke 17, right? Luke 17, where Yahweh Shai talked about his own second coming, right? Luke 17, verse 24. And it reads, for as the lightning that lighteneth out of one part under heaven, shineth also shineth unto the other part of under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in his day. His second coming, man. You see that? So that's talking about what? His second coming, right? When he comes back, with the UFOs, the chariots of salvation. So do what? Defend his people, the elect, essentially, because those are the only people who's going to gather, right? The elect of the nation Israel from the four corners of the earth, man. Because they're Israelites. They were scattered into the four corners of the earth. For as lightning, that lightning on one part under heaven shineth also unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man and be in his day. You see that? So again, UFOs, the chariots, because they're going to be flying, hovering all around the earth, man, doing many things, making war with the wicked, right? Zapping the wicked with laser beams and delivering and preserving the elect of Israel, man, right? Now let's read that deliverance. Let's go to Habakkuk 3 first, right? Remember, in the scriptures, the UFOs is sometimes called a flying roll, clouds, chariots, horses of fire, the chariots of Israel. Habakkuk 3, right? Let's start at verse 8. Now, this whole chapter is about the second coming of Messiah. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was your anger against the rivers? Was your wrath against the sea? Right. So it's like, Yahushua gonna be riding hard, man. That thou didst ride upon your horses, the UFOs, and your chariots, same thing, of salvation. The chariots of salvation. You see that? Why? Because that's what's going to deliver the Israelites, the elected nation of Israel. Right? Let's jump down. All right. Let's jump down to verse 16, right? When I heard, my belly tremble, right? When he had a vision of, this vision, the second coming of Messiah. He trembled, man, because he saw it. My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. Yahushua coming back with the angels, man. And they all going to have chariots, man. All of them, right? Let's go to Jude. Okay, Yahushua come back with 10,000s of angels, right? 1:14, and Enoch, also the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these. So even Enoch prophesied of the second coming of Messiah. Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints. Now here it's talking about the angels, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. All their words, man. But the point being made is that he coming for 10,000 of his saints, man. See, Yahushua is going to come back with 10,000 of his angels, man. Right? And what they're going to do, gather together the elect. Now, the Gospels of Mark, John, Luke, all right, and Matthew, same thing. And as an entirety, right? Matthew 24:30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, second coming, man. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, because, again, he's going to be hitting them with laser beams, making war with them. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, your foes, of heaven with power and great glory. See that? And he shall do what? Send his angels. Come with angels. They're going to have UFOs too. With a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect, the elect of Israel, which is not all Israel, from the four winds, north, east, west, and south, because they've been scattered into the four corners of the earth, from one end of heaven to the other. See that? So again, Yahushua, what we're reading is him delivering and, preserving and defending his people, man. Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard, we're all reading the same things, man. They might ask, why are you going to different chapters? Well, that's because it's all talking about the same thing. All the prophets had the same vision, man, the end of the world. Right? Yahushua was a prophet too. Who the world called Jesus, he was a prophet too, but his true name is Yahushua. Okay? He was a prophet too. And he prophesied of these things. All right? And they heard a great voice from heaven. This is talking about what we just read in Matthew 24. Saying unto them, come up hither. So these UFOs are going to beam up the elect into the chariots, man, to save them from, essentially really all over the world, but mainly from America. All right? The nuclear destruction coming to America, man. As those missiles are making their way down there, about to destroy everything in here, the elect will be delivered. And they ascended up to heaven in a what? Cloud. The Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven, right? Ascended up to heaven in a cloud, a UFO. And their enemies beheld them. Their enemies are going to see it. That's why verse 13 goes on to tell us that what? That same hour, there's a great earthquake. The nuclear missiles destroying this place. America, man. And, our land, since the Edomites over there, Jerusalem is going to be destroyed as well. And when I say destroyed, I'm talking about the entire land. Holy, desolate, the entire thing. Okay? Holy as in Wholly. You see? So, again, now this is what it's talking about in Isaiah 31, as birds flying, because those UFOs are going to be flying all over the world, man. Go to Isaiah 19. Let me prove that. They're going to be flying all over the world. We read Luke 17 and 24. Right? Isaiah 19 and 1 is talking about America, which is spiritually Egypt, okay? Representing bondage. All right? House of servants, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. So these clouds are swift. They're fast. So imagine 10,000 UFOs. The Messiah himself, when you read 2 Ezra 13, he's going to have the biggest UFO, man, the fathership. It's going to look like a great mountain. It's going to hover over the whole goddamn planet. Right? So imagine 10,000 UFOs. You got them flying quick, man. Like lightning from one end of the earth to the other. Zapping niggas with laser beams, beaming up the elect. All these things, making war with the other nations. With the sect coming to Messiah, the nations are going to be warm with each other. It's going to be in the middle of World War III. Nations are going to be warm with each other already, man. And shall come into Egypt, America. And America is the Lord's main focus, man. All right? The daughter of Babylon, our prison house. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. Right, like your Jesus of Nazareth, that's an idol, a false god. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. You see that? So again, this is what this is getting into, man. Lord waters on a swift cloud. Right? Now Jeremiah 25. Now you can start at verse 30, talking about his second coming, but I want to get to the point. Verse 31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead, judge with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh. Revelation 19, right? That sword coming out of his mouth. That's the laser beam coming out of the UFO. Thus Yahweh opposed, behold, evil, here's the point, shall go forth from nation to nation. Why? Because these UFOs are going to be flying all over the earth. And a great whirlwind, that's what they're all, the UFOs are also called whirlwinds, man, shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. You see that? And the slain of the Lord, his body count, man, the death, the bodies, shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. All because these UFOs are going to be killing people all over the earth, man. Remember, as lightning shining from one end of the earth unto the other end of the earth, so shall the second coming of the Son of Man be. They shall not be lamented, neither be gathered. Right, nobody's going to mourn for them, because their ass going to get struck too. Nor buried. They shall be dung upon, like, so the same way shit is on the street, their dead bodies going to be on the street, man. The slain of the Lord shall be many in that day, right? You also read about this in Isaiah 66, verse 15. And all the Lord cometh with his chariots, man. The chariots of Israel, the chariots of salvation, man. Because those same chariots, those UFOs, those clouds, whirlwinds, are going to what? Beam up the elect. And the elect are going to be beamed up. You read in Matthew 24 from the four corners of earth, so out of every nation. But the main focus is America, because this place is going to be destroyed, man. All right? By nuclear fire. So this is how the Lord is going to defend his people, by delivering them, man, via the chariots of salvation. Beaming them up into the UFOs, man. Saving them from the nuclear destruction of America and from, global nuclear impact from all around the world, really. But mainly, okay, America. This is the focus land. See that? This is how the Most High is going to defend his people, as birds flying. Those UFOs, man. They're going to look like birds flying, man. And they're going to be flying swiftly all over the world. It's going to look like a little alien invasion. That's why, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, right? Scriptures talk about the strangeness, right, of the elect's salvation. Which the elect of Israel, all right, you got the whole nation of Israel, just in case you don't know, 2/3 of Israel, they're predestinated for damnation. And this is only in America, not all around the world, only in America, right? Zechariah 13, 8 and 9, it says in all the land. That land is America, because, America is basically where the Lord's tunnel vision is, okay? America is the main focus. How do we know that? Micah 4:10, Jeremiah 23, verse 5 and on down, Jeremiah 31 and on down. It talks about the north country, singular. Okay, so that's the focus land, the north country, which is Babylon, America. All right, so this is like the capital of our captivity. of the land of our captivity, but we're in captivity all over the world, man. As Yahushua said, right, in Luke 21:24. But let's read this, right? 2nd Ezra 5. All right. Wait, why am I 2nd Ezra? Wisdom of Solomon, excuse me, chapter 5. Okay. Verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as I have afflicted him. And we're doing that right now, going out in the highways and the byways, standing on the name of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, in the face of all the other nations, man. Okay, especially since all different types of people live in America, and made no account of his labors, right? They didn't give a shit that we were out there laboring, trying to, it's mainly our people too. They don't give a shit that you're out there laboring, trying to give them the message. Here's the point though, when they see it, they shall be troubled, right? When these nations see us out there, they shall be troubled, because Esau, Edom, so-called white man, and all these nations, man, the elites, they know that that is a sign of the end of their kingdom, man. Us being spiritually awakened, because we were not supposed to have access to the information. That's why they didn't teach us how to read, right? They manipulated the Bible, all right? They're trying to replace the Most High with science. They're trying to push you away from the Bible, push you away from the Most High, all right? They don't want us to be awakened, but it happened anyway through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua with terrible fear. So they're afraid right now. But here's the point. And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. Now, we read, the salvation, man, Revelation 11, when the elect are beamed up to the UFOs, man, delivered from the nuclear destruction of America and from, all the other captivities around the world that we're in, but mainly America. Why is it strangeness, right? The strangeness of our salvation, man. You don't see UFOs every day in the sky shooting niggas with laser beams, man, flying all over the earth, looking like a damn alien movie, man. But it's an angelic invasion, man. You don't see that every day. You do not see that every day. So it's going to be a strange something. You don't see people getting abducted in UFOs. So it's going to be man, I be thinking about that all the time. It's going to be a strange day, man. It's going to be a glorious day, a beautiful day. Like, we're going to be like those that dream, man. Right? Because all you do is think about it. You're going to be like those that dream, man. Wow, it's finally happened. That's Psalms, I believe, 126. The first verse. But yeah, so our salvation is going to, the elect salvation, whoever they may be, oh, Lord willing, I'm of that number, and you too, man. Now, as I was saying, the elect, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they're predestinated for damnation. But the 1/3, they're going to be delivered. Now, the 1/3, essentially, when you read Revelation 7, it gives you the 1/3. 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe. Those are all men, the prophets and the teachers, the superiors. That's going to be the ruling class under King David, and David under the Messiah, and the Messiah under the Most High. In the kingdom, man, it's going to be rank. All right? And then the great multitude following, which are regular Israelites. You have men that are the elect, but may not be a teacher, may not be a prophet. All right? But he's of the elect. All right? A woman of the elect too. Children. Right? Jeremiah 31, right? In verse 8. A great company shall return. Women, men, children. Okay? The blind. So really, it all depends on if you were elected or not. That's really all that matters to. And which is why it's so scary and why we're humble every day, because you don't know if you were elected, chosen. But that's why Paul said to stay consistent, to make your calling and election sure. Okay? But yeah, so we read about the elect salvation, man, beamed up into UFOs from all four corners of the earth, man, mainly Babylon the Great. And then America's going to be fucking flattened, man, by fire. And the elect are going to be in the UFOs looking down at it, according to Revelation 15, man. And a couple other verses out there. They're going to be looking down at it, man. We're going to see the reward of Babylon the Great, America, the Edomites, because this is their kingdom. But it's going to be a strange salvation, man. You don't see that every goddamn day. So, again, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Right? The chariots of salvation, Habakkuk 3 and 8. Full of salvation, man. So it's going to be a strange salvation. Let's get this one in Job 31. I love the sound of airplanes. Job 31, verse 2. For what portion of God is there from above? And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Verse 3. Is not destruction to the wicked. The wicked are talking about the Edomites, which are the, white people today, so-called Caucasian people. When I say white, I'm not talking about the goddamn skin color, man. All right? Caucasian people, European people, whatever. All right? People choose to get fucking ignorant. Is not destruction to the Edomites, the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity. Them laser beams, man. Yeah, them got it's man, you don't see that every day. Okay? So again, now that we've gotten into that, back to Isaiah 31 in verse 5. As birds flying, those UFOs, man, flying all over the earth, okay, defending the Lord's people, man, beaming up the elect, okay, delivering them from the destruction to come, which is salvation. Whenever people talk about salvation, I've heard so many stupid answers, right? Eternal separation from God. That's not, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Salvation is being delivered from the nuclear destruction of America, Babylon the Great. And essentially being delivered, period. You know? That's salvation, man. Being delivered from the perils to come. Specifically, the destruction. All right? And global nuclear weapons, man, that impacts the entire globe. But the salvation will be, the elect will be delivered from that. That's salvation. And it's also, salvation is also being delivered from your enemies, as you read Exodus 14 and Luke 1. But as we read in Revelation 11, their enemies beheld them. Their enemies are going to see the elect. All these niggas talking shit that we were not the Israelites. Your Negroes and Hispanics, they're not the Israelites. Making 2-hour live streams proving we were wrong. Teaching false doctrine. We're not the Israelites. We're in darkness. We're under a strong delusion. All these punk ass niggas, they're going to see the elect, man, whoever they are, getting beamed up into UFOs as they ass stay down here and die. And their enemies beheld it. And our enemies are primarily the other nations. But, right, Romans 11, it should be verse 28, even 2/3 of the Israelites, man, of our own people are our enemy, man. Okay? So, again, man, our enemies, the elect's enemies are going to see them be delivered, man. So, again, both things are going to happen at one time. The elect are going to be delivered from the nuclear destruction, and their enemies are going to see it. So, we're going to be saved from their enemies at the same damn time. Both going to happen. But as birds flying, those UFOs, man, flying, soaring through the skies, man, through north, east, west, and south. Swiftly, too. Remember Isaiah 19:1? Swiftly, man. So will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. The Israelites, specifically the elect of Israel, man. Gonna defend them, man. Defending, also, he will deliver it. Right, deliver them, man, from their enemies and from the destruction. We read it all. And passing over, he will preserve it. Now, I could have went into deeper depth, but, I'm just, hitting the fingertip, man. I don't want this video to be too long. So that's Isaiah 31:5. That's what this is talking about. All right. In my older videos, I believe I said something related to. I was thinking about how we were. I was thinking about another scripture. I believe in Hosea 11. But this is what this is talking about, man. Okay. So there we have it. In my older, I believe I said. What did I say, man? I think I said. It's talking about when the elect get beamed up. Because we all going to be as birds flying as well. That's Hosea 11, right? But this, Isaiah 31:5, as birds flying, so will the Lord defend Jerusalem. No, this is actually talking about those chariots, man. Okay? Soaring, flying all over the world, man. Doing what they do. Or what they're going to do. Deliver the elect and make war of the wicked, man. Now let's go to Revelation 22 and get into that. And before we do that, let me go to Hosea 11 first. Right? This is the scripture I was thinking about. Hosea 11. So this is to clarify. Yep, Hosea 11:11. They shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt, America, spiritually Egypt, and as a dove, a bird, out of the land of Assyria. Now, if you know, like Zechariah 10 and Isaiah 19, Isaiah 27, they're talking about America, which is spiritually Egypt, representing bondage, because we were slaves here in America, were we not? The Negroes and Hispanics. Terrible bondage, man. And we were what? America is also spiritually Assyria, man. Meaning what? It has the, basically the characteristics of Assyria, man. Oppression. Okay? Representing oppression. Which the Assyrians oppressed us terribly, man. Terribly. And so did the goddamn white man, the modern day Assyrian. So this is what this is talking about. America, spiritually Egypt, spiritually Assyrian. And I'll place them in their houses, said Yahweh Shem Shai. So, but wait a minute, it said, they shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt. See that? Birds fly, right? The elect are going to be beamed up, right? We're going to tremble, man. The elect going to tremble, man. So that's what this is. So that's the scripture I was thinking about when I was, reading Isaiah 31:5 and a couple of my older videos. But I don't remember which exact video, though. But that was wrong. Isaiah 31:5, that's talking about, the chariots of the Lord, man. Soaring through the skies as a bird, man, defending the Israelites, delivering the elect, right? And this is talking about the literal elect, trembling as a bird out of Egypt, right? You see that? So again, now that we got some context, Revelation 22, right? Literally, man, you're gonna be like a bird, man. You're gonna be shit. You're gonna be going. You get beamed up. You're gonna be soaring through the sky, man. Right? It's gonna be a fucking amazing day, man. Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, right? Law, statutes, commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without, okay, now in my older videos, I used to think that it was without, basically meaning without the commandments. No, when you go into the Greek word for without, it means outside, okay? Relating to, outside Jerusalem, outside the temple, are dogs, a man in an impure state of mind, okay? And sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. And that reminds me of Esau, he's a fucking liar. But it's talking about men in general. So, Yahushua is basically saying, or the scripture, right? Yeah, the scripture, because it's not Yahweh. This is, it's not red letter, but you know the point. The scripture is basically saying, these things, being a dog and a sorcerer and a whoremonger and a murderer, are the reason that, people that do these things are outside of Jerusalem and are outside the kingdom. These things are why they are outside of the kingdom, because without means outside. These things are the reason they are outside of the kingdom. That's what this is saying. Okay? Now let's get some precepts. Revelation 21. In the kingdom there will be no goddamn none of that bullshit, man. Revelation 21 verse 27. There shall in no wise enter into it, what? The kingdom, anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie. So the same thing, man. Your ass not getting the kingdom, man. Okay? So again, those things are the reason, right? The Greek word without meaning outside. Those things are the reason that your ass won't be in the kingdom. But they which are written in the Lamb's book of life, essentially the elect, right? And essentially at the very end of the tunnel, everybody's gonna be in the kingdom, but you're gonna have different roles. The other nations, they're gonna be stomped down into slavery, subjection, right? The nation of Israel will be ruling, and as that ranking that we gave earlier, man. Okay, there's gonna be ranking, and the most of the Israelites, they're gonna be regular Israelites, man. But the teachers, the prophets, which are the 144,000, they're gonna have the greatest position, man, the highest authority under King David, and then David under Yahushua, and then Yahushua under the Most High, man. You see that? Simple. That's good. Isaiah 52. My phone is starting to get hot. Verse 1. Awake, awake, put on your strength. O Zion. What's our strength? This truth. Oh, put on thy beautiful garments. This truth. O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come unto you the uncircumcised and the unclean. See that? So simple. So those are two precepts right there. So Revelation 22, 14 to 15, what is it talking about? Those things, murderers, whoremongers, which is the man that sells whores, not sleeping with a whore. All right? But basically, those are the reasons that your ass will be outside the kingdom. You wouldn't enter the kingdom. That's what it's getting into. Okay? So those are the two scriptures. Lord will be edified. All praise to Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, for allowing me to make this very video, for allowing me to correct myself, to receive instruction. Praise to Yahweh, Shem Yahushai. Lord will be edified. Lord, when you see me in the next one, Shalom.